Hi guys, Steve from Martell Training Group. I'd like to welcome you to our video, How to Stay Safe While Shopping. Our channel is dedicated to safety and security, so if you want to stay safe and more secure, hit that subscribe button and then you'll be notified when we release new videos. I am a retired New Jersey State Trooper and former paramedic. Today I'd like to talk about how to stay safe while shopping. I'd like to begin with a car ride, assuming that you're going to use a car to get to where you're going. And I'd like to point out that at the end of this video, you'll see a link to our other video, 4 tips on how to stay alive while driving. There's a lot of information in there about safety while in your car. I would strongly recommend that you look at that video. So let's just figure on getting to the location in a safe manner. Once you're there, the next step would be finding a good parking spot. Obviously, if it's dark out or you think it will be dark by the time you're coming out of the store, I would highly recommend that you park in a well-lit area so your car is fully illuminated as much as possible. I also like parking near the shopping cart return, assuming that you're going to return the shopping cart to those spots in the parking lot. I started doing this when my kids were very young. I didn't want to leave them unattended in the car too long, so I would actually park close to the shopping cart return area of the parking lot. Now, it's good to do that for another reason as well. If somebody's out there watching you when you return to your car and you're unloading your packages and items, if they're watching you and they see that you're going to return that shopping cart and you have a pretty far way to go, they might try to intercept you on your way back to your car, and they may also assume that your car is unlocked, because most people are not going to lock their car when they return the shopping cart knowing they're going to go back to their car. So keep that in mind when you're looking for a parking spot. As you approach the store, you need to look around and see what's going on. Be aware of your surroundings. If you happen to see an armored car parked out front, from time to time we all see them. They go to store and they collect cash, they collect valuables, checks, what have you. I would highly recommend avoiding going anywhere near those armored cars. Usually there's one driver or guard that stays in the vehicle and the other one goes and gets the valuables, the cash or what have you. From time to time they get robbed, and if there's a robbery, chances are there's going to be a shootout. And I know for a fact that this has happened in New Jersey on more than one occasion, and I know that bystanders have been shot in the line of fire between the guards and the bad guys. Keep in mind, these individuals that work for the armored car companies, they're not police officers. They're not trained in tactics. They have certain requirements they have to meet. They get a background check. They have to qualify with a firearm, which means they have to shoot at a stationary target, and they have to get so many rounds on the target per session. They also have to take a firearms safety course. This is not the same as being a police officer. Now, I'm sure there are some former police officers or former military personnel that work on armored cars, but that's not a requirement and that is not the norm. They have the firearms to protect themselves because they do deal with large amounts of cash and valuables. So just keep that in mind. You don't want to be anywhere near a shootout. So what I recommend is you wait. Usually they're there not very long, about 5 minutes, maybe 10 tops. Wait in your car or wait before until they pull away. Or if it's a big store like a Walmart or a Target, usually those stores have multiple entrances and exits. Just go in the other entrance. If the armored car is at one, go in the other. I would avoid them at all costs. As you enter the store, don't just enter haphazardly. You need to be aware of what you're going into. Make sure that you're not walking into any kind of active shooter situation or robbery or any kind of dangerous situation. For more information on how to survive an encounter with an active shooter, please see our video link at the end of this video. If you hit that subscribe button, you'll be notified when we release similar videos on this channel. While you're in the store, while you're walking around, shopping, picking out items, I would be aware of your surroundings at all times, and I would be looking for exits, noticing where they are, looking for places to hide. In the video on how to survive an encounter with an active shooter, I go into detail about the difference between cover and concealment. Concealment means you're hidden, but you could still be hit with a round. Cover, on the other hand, you're still hidden, but more than likely a round will not penetrate that. So hiding behind, say, a concrete wall, or if you're at a Home Depot, a stack of lumber, that will most likely not allow a bullet or a round to penetrate. So cover is better than concealment. So as you're walking around, as you're shopping, I would just from time to time just ask yourself, if somebody came down the aisle right now shooting, where would I go? Would I run in the opposite direction? Would I go inside would I try to hide in the aisle? Now, it depends on what store you're in. If you're in a Home Depot, you might be able to hide in the aisle, and then if you need to, you might be able to climb through to the other aisle next to that. That's ideal because it would be an alternate form of escape. Now, if you're at a Target or a Walmart or a grocery store, you may not have the option of actually climbing through to the next aisle. So just keep these things in mind. Something I like to think about as well, I notice when employees are coming out of doors in the back of the stores, I see them coming back and forth. Either there's a back prep room or store room or whatever it might be. Those rooms usually have exit signs over them because by fire code they have to have signs wherever the exits are in the event of an emergency. So keep those doors and rooms in your head as well as places to go if something goes wrong. Normally we don't think about going into those rooms or through those doors because they're typically off limits to customers. But remember, in an emergency, anything goes. Whatever you need to do to survive, you're going to do. So you finish shopping and you now are approaching the cash register, or you're waiting to check out, whether it be self-checkout or a person, a cashier. As you're standing in line, I would also be thinking to myself, and I do this when I'm out myself, if somebody came in that front door and started shooting, where would I go? What would I do? Now, I usually have a firearm on me because as a retired trooper, I have a permit to carry a firearm. I realize most people don't have firearms, but I still think about that anyway because I need to be able to take cover or concealment. I need to be able to exit if I can. So these are the things that you should be thinking about. Where would I go? Would I run backwards? Would I run forward? Would I get behind the register? Would I go left? Would I go right? Is there anything here that would provide me with cover? There may not be. You might be vulnerable at that particular location. But having these thoughts in your head, at least you're prepared. If something happens, at least it's not going to totally catch you off guard. You'll have a plan in your head of what to do. And a lot of times, if you're thinking about it beforehand, it's just a matter of executing your plan. In my video on how to survive an encounter with an active shooter, I do discuss picking hiding places. From the moment you exit the store and you approach the parking lot to get to your vehicle, you need to be, again, aware of your surroundings. I would immediately try to locate my vehicle. Now, as I'm approaching, I'm looking around my vehicle. Are there other vehicles that are parked close to my vehicle? Now, out of those vehicles that are close to my vehicle, are there any people inside the vehicles? Now, I've noticed lately a lot of people are in their vehicles in parking lots. They're waiting. Some of them are just waiting for other family members or friends that they've gone shopping with, and they're just waiting in the parking lot for them. I would still notice them, be aware of them. As you get closer to your car, what are they doing? Are they watching you? They might just be curious. Or are they actually getting ready to get out of their car as you get closer to your car? Now, if so, it could be a coincidence. You just need to be aware of it and be ready for anything. Some people feel better if they're carrying pepper spray or mace or a taser. I usually have a firearm on me because as a retired trooper, I have a permit to carry a handgun, but I realize most people don't. So if you do feel better about carrying mace or pepper spray or a taser, I'm going to provide some links in the details section of this video on some products that I've recommended in the past. So please see those if you're interested. You can look around. Now, I will say that if you're going to carry any of these things, you need to check with your state or in your jurisdiction to make sure that they're legal for you to carry. So in New Jersey, where I'm from, for example, A civilian can carry pepper spray or mace, but it can't be more than 3/4 of an ounce. So maybe your state doesn't have that restriction. In New Jersey, there's a restriction. Now, as a trooper, I carried about 2.5 times that amount. So it's not a lot of pepper spray. I guess the thinking is that you need only enough for one encounter. But to me, if you have more than one person attacking you, you're going to need a lot more. But that's how it is in New Jersey. Tasers are legal to carry in New Jersey, but there are restrictions, just like with mace and pepper spray. You have to be 18. You can't be a person that cannot possess a firearm. So, for example, if you've been convicted of a domestic violence crime in New Jersey, and because of that you cannot own or possess a firearm, even in your home, then you cannot possess or own the taser as well. So you have to check with your state and your jurisdiction to make sure these items are legal for you to carry. Now, if you're unsure about how to use them, I would recommend you seek out and obtain training to use them. Pepper spray, mace, the taser, there is training available. I would highly recommend signing up and getting some training if you're going to carry these items. That's it, folks. How to stay safe while shopping. Please check out our other videos. You'll see at least 2 of them on the screen here. I highly recommend you checking out our channel. And if you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for watching. Take care and stay safe.